The Origins of Fairies. For centuries, fairies have danced through the myths and legends of countless cultures, enchanting our imaginations with their mystery and magic. But where did these tiny, winged beings come from? To understand their origins, we must travel back through history, to a time when the boundaries between the human world and the supernatural were far less defined. The earliest whispers of fairies trace back to ancient civilizations, where nature spirits and elemental beings were thought to inhabit the land. In pre-Christian Europe, particularly among the Celts, there were tales of powerful spirits known as the Aos Sí, or the people of the mounds. These ethereal beings were neither fully divine nor human, but existed in a realm parallel to our own. They were believed to dwell in sacred sites, hills, forests, and lakes, where they could influence the mortal world in both benevolent and mischievous ways. In Norse mythology, fairies have their counterparts in the Alfar, or elves, a race of supernatural creatures tied to nature and magic. The Alfar were divided into light and dark elves, with some guiding and inspiring humans, while others brought misfortune. These stories reflected a common belief among early societies that unseen spirits controlled the forces of nature, from the whispering winds to the flickering stars. The medieval period saw the fairy legend evolve further, blending with Christian influences. As the Church spread across Europe, it sought to explain these supernatural beings within its own framework. Some fairies were reimagined as fallen angels, too good for hell, but too rebellious for heaven, condemned to wander the earth in hidden realms. Others were linked to the souls of the dead, lingering between worlds. During the Renaissance, fairies took on a more whimsical and romanticized form. William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream introduced audiences to playful and mischievous fairies, creatures of the night who meddled in the affairs of mortals. This portrayal helped shape the popular image of fairies as delicate, enchanting beings, often depicted as small and winged. But the belief in fairies wasn't just a literary fancy, it was deeply ingrained in folklore. In rural communities, people left offerings of milk or bread to appease them. Stories of changelings, human children stolen by fairies and replaced with impostors, were used to explain mysterious illnesses or deformities. Travelers feared the fairy roads, paths where the veil between worlds was thin and where one could easily vanish into the other world. As the Age of Enlightenment dawned, belief in fairies began to wane. Science and reason replaced superstition, and fairies retreated from reality into the realm of fairy tales. Yet, in the Victorian era, they experienced a resurgence, not as spirits of nature, but as delicate, winged creatures in children's stories. The famous Cottingley fairy photographs of the early 20th century even convinced some that fairies might be real, though they were later proven to be a hoax. Today, fairies continue to evolve, appearing in modern fantasy literature, films, and popular culture. But their origins remain rooted in something older and more mysterious: our ancient connection to the unseen world, to the forces of nature, and to the enduring belief that magic might still exist just beyond our reach.